I'm Graham Jones and I'm the CEO for Woody's Lodge. I'm originally from North Wales. I was born and raised in a village called Coedpoeth just outside Wrexham. And at the age of 16 I joined the Royal Marines, and as you can imagine, coming from a small knit community, it was quite hard to leave home initially, but being a physically fit person, because I was into swimming and water polo through my school career, I didn't really have a problem with the physical fitness. It was more the mental aptitude. With the Royal Marines being quite a tough element, they need somebody who's got that mental aptitude to complete the commando course. Thankfully, I completed the course mid 1981, and then I was based up in Arbroath. But just before the Falklands conflict, I was moved down to Plymouth when I joined Headquarters and Signal Squadron, Defence Section, looking after the Brigadier of the landing force. So after the Falklands conflict, I carried on with the Royal Marines until 1991. On transitioning out of the Royal Marines following the end of my term, I joined Grampian Police up in Scotland. And for me personally, it wasn't a great transition. I started drinking heavily. My mood swings became quite erratic. I was having problems with anger issues, and I had another relationship breakdown. Thankfully, the police supported me, and I quickly overcame that problem, or I thought I had. So move on a few years, when I transferred over to Cheshire Constabulary in 1999, I spent a year with that force and problems started to reoccur, and I had my first breakdown in 2000. Alongside this breakdown, I realised that I was drinking again and my mood swings were becoming erratic once more. And luckily, Cheshire Police gave me some great support. I didn't go to any veterans organisations because there was nothing great out there, and at the time I didn't realise that my term in the Royal Marines was the issue. So if we move on to 2012, that is when I had my serious breakdown. Mentally, I was suffering quite badly. Again, my drinking was becoming a problem, my mood swings and my anger. But this time I listened to my family, and I realised that I really did need the help. But unfortunately, it was slightly too late for me, because by then, as my relationship had broken down, I was living on my own. And as a dog handler, the only company I had on my days off were my two police dogs. On one occasion, I'd come off duty and I was due to be off for 4 days. I don't remember doing it, but I laid on my pills on the bed and realised that for me, that was the end of it. This is when I realised the power of animals. My police dog came up and put his head against my leg and he started to cry. And this snapped me out of it. And that's when I realised I would have left them on their own. And then I started to realise the impact it would have had on my family, my friends, and also my colleagues that may have had to find me. That's when I realised I really did need the help. So I was put in touch with an organisation called Combat Stress by my sister, who worked for a veterans organisation. And they were of great help to me when I was 6 weeks course. And while I was there, I realised that by listening to other veterans and using my lived experiences, I was actually helping others as well as myself. And I felt good. So for me, it was kind of a coping mechanism. So when I left that therapy session, I decided that I was going to get involved with further regimental associations. So I joined the Royal Marines Association. And I was helping other veterans in that association, which was good. And this is where my heart lay. So when I came to leave the police, and in 2014, I went back to work for the police looking after vulnerable victims and witnesses, which strengthened my resolve to help others. So if we look at 2018, when Dr. David Trotman came to give a presentation on Woody's Lodge, I thought, this is an organisation I need to be involved with. So I was successfully chosen as the project manager for North Wales. I set up the main hub at Ayres Park, 12 satellite drop-in centres across North Wales coast. And I quickly realised that the veterans that were coming through the door not necessarily had issues, but they liked to sit around and talk with other like-minded people. And they developed their own mentoring system, and they developed their own social network, which to me was really pleasing because I could see just how that family forged itself, and it was helping me. 2018 was, to me, the turning point in my life, coming to work for an organisation like Woody's Lodge. And in 2020, when I got the chance to take over from Dr. David Trotton as the CEO, I was so pleased to be able to take over the operational side of things for the organisation throughout Wales. And over the past 3 years, I've been able to see how that organisation has grown and how the veterans have developed their own support network along with their families and how they look after each other now. And we have some complex cases coming through the door, but I am pleased to know that Woody's Lodge is the organisation that can help them. If we don't know where to go or how to help them, we certainly know the organisation that does, so that we do the signposting. And to me, that has been such a lifesaver.